Please write in the chat window so we can start the session. Okay, so last class we were discussing about what? Last class we were discussing about what, sir? Function we were discussing, no? Okay. Okay, fine. So okay, so what I told you, you remember my example, what I told you? So in a single plate, if you take all the things, then what will happen, sir? If a single plate, if you take all the things, then everything will become hodgepodge or not? Everything will become hodgepodge. So what is the use of function? Look at what is a function actually? What is a function? Sir, what is a function? First of all, a function is a self-defined block. What, sir? Please continue with me. A function is a self-defined block. Now you tell me who defined this function? Who defined this function? Function is defined by self or not? The function is defined by a function is self-defined block. Please continue. Please write down. A function is a self-defined block. Self-defined. A function is a self-defined block. Function is a what, sir? Self-defined block, which is generally used for any calculation or printing the results. Printing the results. Okay, a function is a self-defined block which is generally used for any calculation or printing the results. Or printing the results. Or printing the what? Results. Now look at a function must have a return type. A function must have a return type. Okay, so if you're writing a function, that function must have what? Must have some return type. Must have some return type. A function must have what, sir? Return type. Have a look. Look at just look at here, all of you. Suppose I'm writing a show function. I'm writing a show function. Okay, so it is an invalid statement, sir. It is an invalid statement. This show function is an invalid statement. We must need what? We must need return type. What we need? Return type. Void, int, whatever you want. But this function must be have what, sir? One return type. Without return type, can we write a function? It is not possible. It is not possible. So whenever we write a function, the function must have what, sir? Return type. Now, a function must have return type. Now, the next point is what? Please write down. A function can be divided. A function can be divided into two types. A function can be divided into two types. Sir, predefined function. Please continue with all of you guys. Online guys, you please also continue. Predefined function. Now, can you tell me how would you recognize a predefined function? How would you recognize a predefined function? Semicolon is there now. Tomorrow, last class, yesterday, not tomorrow. Yesterday, I told you now, if a function contains semicolon, it is a which kind of function? Predefined function. If the same function is containing what, sir? Curly braces, opening of curly braces and what? Closing of curly braces. Then it is a user defined function or not? How would you recognize a function? Sir, I want to recognize a function. I want to recognize a function. So if a function contains a semicolon, if a function contains semicolon, then it is a which kind of function? Predefined function. Sir, a function contains curly braces, then it is a which kind of function? User defined function. Very simple. Okay. So predefined function means what? Look at predefined function means what, sir? Predefined function means what? A function which is already defined by the user. A function which is already defined by the user is called predefined function. Which is already defined by the user is called predefined function. Sir, can you give some example? Yes, let's say add. This is a predefined function. Okay. Print. This is a predefined function. So a function which is already defined by the user, is called what, sir? Predefined function. Predefined function. Add, print. Now, number 2 is what, sir? Number 2 is user defined function. What is the number 2? User defined function. User defined function. So what is the user defined function? A function which is defined by the user. A function which is defined by the user is called what? Is called what? User defined function. A function which is defined by the user. Sir, user is defining that function. Is called what, sir? User defined function. A function which is defined by the user is called what, sir? User defined function. User defined function. Sir, can you give some example? Look at, we always start our program with main function now. So main is a user defined function or not? Main is a user defined function. Okay. Main is a user defined function. Or let's say I'm writing my own function add. Look at, in the above example, add is a predefined function because it contains what? Come on guys, respond. It contains what? Semicolon. But here add is a which kind of function? User defined function because it contains what? Curly braces. Okay. Please write down. No, Yamini. We have that is the introduction part, Yamini. Still, we will complete in detail. Just the introduction part. So, if you remember, I have given you the heading introduction of OOPS, just to introduce the OOPS concept. OOPS concept will take almost 30 days to complete. Okay, don't think that. There are a lot of features in OOPS concept. I just introduce what class. Is it okay, all of you? So a function which is defined by the user is called what, sir? User defined function. So this main is a what? Main is a user defined function. This add is also what? User defined function. Is it clear? Now, what are the advantages, sir? Advantages of function? Advantages of function. What are the advantages of function? It's visible. Visible. Yeah, you are thinking about add is a predefined function, then how add is a user defined function. Yes. Look at, if you let's say he is asking, someone is asking one doubt, sir. Once add is a predefined function, how add this add is a user defined function? Let's say I'm telling you. Look at, let's suppose, listen all of you, then I will tell you what is the advantage of function. Have a look. Let's say here I'm writing, let's say here I'm writing. Okay, just have a look. Okay, let's say let's say what he is asking. Let's say here I have a method public void add, public void add, public void add. Now here we have what, int a comma what, int b. Can we take? Say yes or no? Public void int a comma int b. Okay, now please notice public void int a comma int b. Now you just tell me public void int a comma int b, it is a predefined function or user defined function? Come on, ma'am. It contains semicolon or curly braces? Curly braces. So once curly braces, it is a which kind of function? User defined function. Okay, it is a user defined function. It is a user defined function, guys. So it is a user defined function. Okay, now so here what I am writing, look at here what I am writing. Online guys, don't raise your question. Okay, just hold your question, I will give you the answer. So this is the user defined function, guys. Now what I am doing here, have a look, sir. What I am doing here, can I write here int result is equal to a plus b? Say yes or no? That means what, I am adding the value of a and b and I am storing in which variable? Result. Getting all of you? Say yes or no? Sir, what is the use of this add function? The add or use of this add function, which is a user defined function, to get the parameter values, to receive the value of a and b, and we are adding the value of a and b, and finally we are assigning to which variable? Result. I am assigning to result. And then after that what I can do, I can write what? Print res. Print what? Res. Are you agree with me? Now this is my user defined function. Now how to use this function? This is my user defined function. Try to understand. This is my user defined function. Now how to use this function? So to use this user defined function, what I can write here, have a look. So can I write here add, let's say I'm passing what, 100 comma 200? Say yes or no? Sir, the moment I will pass this add 100 comma 200, add 100 comma 200, what will happen? Look at this 100 value will assign to this a variable or not? Are you agree with me? All of you say yes or no? This 100 value will assign to a. What about this 200? This 200 value will assign to b or not? Are you agree with me? Okay, so when you write this statement, guys, when you write this statement, add 100 comma 200, assume that add 100 comma 200, the value of a becomes 100, the value of b becomes 200. Now when you add a plus b, 100 plus 200, what is the value? 300. That 300 value you are assigning to this result variable or not? Say yes or no? Sir, why the result variable data type is integer? Because you are taking some integeric value or not? Getting my point? You are taking some integeric value. Have a look. Sir, try to understand, guys. Sir, can you please add Ravi comma Sankar? Is it possible? Possible or not possible? No, it's not possible. Look at, it's not possible. Why? Because from here I am passing this string value. From here what I am passing? A string value. So here to receive this string value, we need a string data type or not? So it is valid or not valid? It is not valid. It is invalid. It is not valid. It is invalid. Because here the data type is what, sir? Integeric. So A will receive only integer type of value. B will also receive only integer type of value. So I am passing 100 comma 200. Listen carefully. 100 comma 200. The value of A will become 100. The value of B will become what? 200. Finally, I'm adding A and B. So I'm adding A and B means what? 100 plus 200. So 100 plus 200, 300 value we are assigning to result or not? So if I print the result value, what it will print? Come on, what it will print? It will print 300. Say yes or no? It will print 300. Now in the next line, what I'm doing, sir, in the next line, I'm passing 1000 comma 2000. Now what will happen? Look at, when you execute this line, the value of A will change or not? The value of A is changing or not? What I told you, variable means what? Variable can change its value during the execution of the program or not? A variable can change its value during the execution of the program. So initially the value of A was 100. Now the value of A is what? 1000. Are you agree with me? Now the value of A is what? 1000. What is the value of B? 2000. So when you add a plus b, 1000 plus 2000, what will be the value of result? 3000. And now we are printing the result. So here what it will print? 3000. Suppose I want to take one more time add. Now we are passing 150 comma 100. Now you tell me what is the value of a in this third line? 150. What is the value of b? 100. So when you add, what is the value of res? 250. Say yes or no. Are you getting my point? Now you tell me to use this user defined function. User defined function, we are calling these functions or not? So from here, what you are understanding? From here you are understanding, sir, there is a predefined function called what? Add, which is already defined by the user. So some function add is there, which is already defined by the user. We are just using the value and we are just what? Printing the result. Say yes or no. So now in this case, it is a what? User defined function. And in this case, this is what? Predefined function. Agree? Okay. So now you can see, what is the advantage of function. Have a look. What is the advantage of function? Look at the first advantage is what? Come on. What is the first advantage? The first advantage, guys, modularity. What, sir? Modularity. Sir, what do you mean by modularity, sir? I'm not getting. Modularity means dividing the bigger task. Into what? Into number of what? Number of smaller tasks. Dividing the bigger task into what? Number of a smaller task. Modularity. Dividing the bigger task into number of smaller tasks. Number of a smaller task. Modularity. I'm explaining. You please write down. Sir, what is modularity? What is modularity? You please write down. Dividing the bigger task into number of what? A smaller task. So let's say, have a look. Simple, very simple. Let's say I'm writing one method. What? Same example what I have given in the last class. The same example I am giving you. So you will get my idea. Look at void calculate. Look at all of you guys. Void calculate. In this void calculate, can I write a plus b? Say yes or no. A minus what? A minus b. And similarly, what I can write? A into b multiplication, and finally what? A divided by b. Is it clear, all of you? So now in this program, what happens? Look at, everything is hodgepodge or not? Every task is combined or not? The code is the code is more understandable. No, it is not understandable, because everything, addition logic is mixed up, subtraction logic is mixed up, multiplication is mixed up, and what, sir? Division is mixed up. Now what I can do, I can divide this bigger task is calculate task, into what? Number of a smaller task. Number of a smaller task means what? How can I divide? Look at here. Can I write void sum? Say yes or no. I can write the void sum. So this sum, this particular module, this one particular module will perform what? Only one task. What is that? Summation. It is performing summation. Now we can have what? We can have the another task. What is that? Subtraction. So this will perform what? Only subtraction. Now you tell me, the entire bigger task you are dividing into number of a smaller task or not? Getting my point? The entire bigger task we are dividing into number of a smaller task. Summation, subtraction, multiplication, division. Say yes or no. Can we divide? So each bigger task we can divide into what? Number of a smaller task by using what? Function. Look at, calculate is also a tasker. Calculate is also a task only. Calculate is also a function only. But it is a bigger task. That bigger task we can divide into what? Number of smaller tasks. Getting my point? Come on, respond. Perfect. Now, sir, after that, look at, after that, come on. Yes. Getting, all of you? You have any question? Come on, raise your question. If you have question, you can ask. Getting or not getting? Now, the next one is what, sir? The next one is what? Reusability is possible or not? Say yes or no. Today you are breakfast is not done, sir. Huh? Not charged. Reusability means what? What is the meaning of reusability? Right now I have written the task now. that task is reusable number of times or not? The same add function, what add function I have written, that add function which is a user defined function, this add function which is a user defined function, of course this method will contain some return type. Let's say I'm writing here void. Okay, so this function can be reused or not? I'm passing sometimes 100 comma 100, I'm passing 1000 2000, I can pass 5000 10,000. So n number of times I can reuse this function or not? Reusability is possible or not? Reusability is possible. Okay, so in our home generally what happens, and in our home generally we have a favorite plate or we have a favorite mug cup. Okay, so generally we have a separate plates now. Even in hostel also, if you live in hostel in our home, we have some separate cup, some private cup. So the same cup is you are using for what? Multiple purposes or not? Sir, I want to take coffee, I want to take Horlicks, I want to take Boost. So same cup you are using or not? So that reusability of the plate, the reusability of a cup is going on or not? So here you are defining the function only what, sir? Only one time. Look at, you are defining the function only once. Void add int a comma int b. The same function, the same add function you can use multiple times or not? Are you agree with me? The same function you can use multiple times. So this is what, sir? This is what? Reusability. Is it clear, all of you? Now, what is the third point? Listen, what is the third point? Let's say, let me write this one in a notepad so you will get more idea. Have a look. Sir, look at, as I told you, here I have a calculate. Now you just tell me it is possible or not. Now inside this calculate, I am taking what? My first method, sum. Let's say this is performing the sum operation. Void subtraction, this is performing the subtraction operation. Void multiplication, this is performing what? Multiplication operation. And void division. This is performing the division operation. Agree with me, guys? Say yes or no. All of you agree? Calculate is a bigger task or not? Because what I want to calculate, I want to provide sum, subtraction, multiplication and division. So this calculate is a bigger task. This bigger task is divided into number of a smaller task or not? This bigger task is divided into number of a smaller task. Now what is happening here? Have a look. What is happening here? Sir, what is happening here? Sir, I am just providing two numbers 10 comma 20. Let's say I'm providing 10 comma 20 and I'm getting the result. I'm getting the result of this summation. So that means this module is working perfectly or not? Say yes or no. Let's say you can take parameter here. If you want, you can take parameter int a comma int b. Int a comma int b, you can take parameter. Okay. So control C, control B, control B, control B. Just have a look. So now you can think I am passing 10 comma 20. I am passing 10 comma 20. So this 10 comma 20 is applicable for this sum method or not? We are getting the result. Now again we are passing 10 comma 20. Okay, what result I am getting? I am getting minus 10. So my subtraction module is working or not? Now again I am passing 10 comma 20 and it is providing what? 200. That means my multiplication is working or not? Now again I am passing 10 20 and here we are getting one error. Here we are getting one error, one particular error. Let's say you are dividing a number by 0. You are dividing a number by 0, 10, 0. You are dividing a number by 0. So of course you will get infinity or not? You will get infinity. Now where you will check what if you face any problem here? So you need to check the entire program or only you will check this particular module? Particular module. So now you tell me, if you check only a particular module, so debugging is easy or not? Now what is debugging, guys? Have a look. Debugging means what? Finding the errors. What, sir? Finding the errors. Finding the errors. So debugging is what? Debugging is easy. Okay, debugging becomes what? Easy. Debugging becomes what? Easy. Void is a keyword, guys. Okay, don't worry, just learn the terminology. Okay, no need to worry. Everything I will tell you in detail. Don't worry, you just try to learn the terminology, because while writing the method, we cannot write add, it is invalid. Okay, so void is a what? Void is a keyword. Void is a keyword in Java. Okay, so while writing the function, because I have not told you about void, so I cannot write the wrong syntax. Na? Being a faculty, I cannot write a wrong syntax. So I need to write what? Void. Online guys. Okay, so that's void is a what? Keyword. But what is void? What it returns? Everything I will tell you in detail. Don't worry. So is it clear? Say yes or no. So what are the advantage of function? You can divide a bigger task into smaller task or not. Can you reuse the function n number of times? We can reuse the number n number of times. Sir, debugging, finding the errors is easy or not? Finding the errors are also very, very easy. Say yes or no. Finding the errors are also very, very easy. Now have a look. What is next? Listen. Sir, look at very carefully. Look at. So I told you now, this is the symbol of function. Just listen very carefully. This is the symbol of what? Come on, respond. This is a symbol of function. This is a symbol of function. And I also told you with this symbol, we have only two aspects. One is what? Semicolon. Semicolon means what? Predefined function. Predefined function. And if you provide curly braces, then it is what, sir? User defined function. Listen very carefully. So listen, sir, whenever we write a function, whenever we write a function, any function, let's say, whenever we write a function, let's say add function. Okay, are you getting my point? Whenever we write a function, let's say add function. So add function, then it takes some memory from the operating system. It takes some memory from the operating system. From the what, sir? Operating system. So actually, I have not told about the memory management of Java. So if you have already the C language knowledge, if you know C, it's okay. If you don't know, leave it, no problem. So whenever we write a function, let's say add a function, then it takes some memory from the operating system. If you work in C language, if you talk about C language, in Java language, I will tell you separately. Don't worry about that. If you talk about C language, in C language, it takes what? 2 bytes of memory. What, sir? 2 bytes of memory. Listen my words very carefully. Sir, can we check it? Yes, you can check it. We have something called size of operator. We have something called what? Size of operator. By using this size of operator, you can check it occupies what? 2 bytes of memory. Are you getting my point? It occupies 2 bytes of memory. Now, sir, whenever you write a function, it takes some memory from the operating system. It takes some memory from the operating system. So what is the desire of the function? What is the desire of the function? The desire of the function. Let's say, in your classroom, let's say in your classroom, whenever you feel, means what? Whenever you sick or whenever you are unwell today, and due to unwellness, you are absent today. So you are trying to ask some notes from your friends or not? So once you are getting the notes, from your friends, so once your friend becomes absent, you are providing the notes or not? It is a two-way communication or not? Say yes or no. It is a two-way communication. It is a two-way communication. Okay. It is a two-way communication. Okay. Last bench, White said, you are here only. Last bench. Huh? You are looking outside, guys. Body present, mind absent. Huh? Body present, mind absent. Sir, it will not work. It will not work. Okay. Body present, mind absent means what? These are the basic things. If you miss these basic things, now the things will become very difficult. The things will become very, very difficult. Okay. So you have to control your mind. You have to control your mind. Okay. Then the things will become work. And it's a matter of only 2 or 3 months, sir. It's a matter of 2 or 3 months. Okay. Are you getting my point? So you are spending the most important part of your life. You can think like that. I'm not going to give you the lecture every day. So you are spending more because the reality of the world is totally changed. Now the total, I'm telling to all of you, even online guys, I'm telling to all of you, the world is totally changed, sir. Nowadays, degree doesn't matter. Nowadays, degree doesn't matter. Degree means what? Whatever the fees you have given to the institution, that receipt is the degree. You take the very golden colored degree from the Naresh IT and you try to search a job. No one will give you the job. Are you getting my point? So please notice these things. Nowadays, only matter is what? Skill. Doesn't matter you are belonging from which background, how many years gap you have, what you have. These things never work in real world. So real world is working on what, sir? Only knowledge, only skills. Okay, are you getting my point? So in my personal life, I have seen a lot of students got 90% marks in their +2 or 10th and they are jobless. They are not getting job. Okay, and they are not getting job means what? They are making suicides, you know. Why? Because there are a lot of expectations from the what society. Because he is a very bright student, he or she is a very bright student, 90%, 95% marks in the CBSE, ICSE, and jobless in the market. What the society will tell? What the parents will tell? Leave about parents, what the relatives will tell. Relatives are so much bother if you don't get job, even more than your parents. Are you getting my point? So why I am telling you these things? Okay, because your degree doesn't work, only knowledge works, only skill works. So here you came here to get the technical knowledge. Are you getting my point? These are the total technical knowledge. Technical knowledge means you need to concentrate more. Otherwise, you are learning from last 12 years. What is the benefit? Nothing, sir. Are you getting my benefit? Are you getting my point? Even guardians are pressurizing more and more on students. Get 90% marks, 98% marks. What is happening? Jobless. So don't go on the marks. Try to get the skill. Try to get the technical skill. That is helpful. Are you getting my point? So this is a very important moment of your life. Within 2 and 3 months, you are going to learn what? Some technical skill. You can work in the industry. Are you getting my point? Okay. And why Naresh Institute Technology is there? What is the use of Naresh Institute of Technology when a lot of colleges are there, universities are there? Then what is the use of Naresh IT Technology? Why there is a so crowd in Naresh IT Technology? Because in the industry and your college academics, there is a huge gap. Are you getting my point? There is a academic and industry, there is a huge gap. So students, even when I was a student, I was thinking like 1 month Java is completed, 2 months C is completed. So just printing the anything in the loop means what? C is completed. So when you try to work in the industry, means what will happen? There is a huge gap, sir. Industry standards are very high standard. Academic standards are very low standards. So we are here to fill that gap. Are you getting my point? So every institutions in India is what, sir? Filling that gap between what? Academics and industry. Getting my point? Okay. So you cannot what? You cannot waste this time, sir. This is a skill. You have to give your 100%, then only it will work. Skill-based knowledge is required. Are you getting my point? Skill-based knowledge is required. So if you miss these 3 months, means what? Again, you will become jobless. So leave your all the worries and tension outside. Just learn. These are the technical things. Getting my point? You involve yourself. Okay. Within 2 or 3 months, you will get a job, sir. And I told you earlier as well. Once you get a job, means what? The money will work. You need not to work. The money will work. So give your full concentration. Have a look. So what I was telling you, what, sir? Sir, it is taking 2 bytes of memory now. So just like you are taking notes from some friends, you are also giving the notes to friends or not? Yes or no? So this function is taking 2 bytes of memory from where? Operating system. So what is the desire of the function? What is the desire of the function? The desire of the function to return. The desire of the function is what, sir? The desire of the function to return what, sir? To return some value. Are you getting my point? What is the desire of a function? To return some value. I want to return some value. That's why whenever you write a function, this function must have what, sir? Return type. This function must have what? Return type. Okay, sir, this function must have return type. So what happens if I write void? What happens if I write void? Sir, if you write void, let's say I'm writing here void. I'm writing here void. If you write void means what? You are killing the nature of the function. Listen my points very carefully. If you write void, that means what? We are killing the nature of the function. What is the nature of the function? It wants to return some value or not? Come on, say yes or no. It wants to return some value. Putting void means what? Now this function will not return any kind of value. If you put void, now this function add, add will not return what, sir? Any kind of value. Are you getting my point? This function add will not return any kind of value. So there is no communication. Look at this is very important point. There is no what, sir? Communication. In the next slide, I will tell you there is no communication. So now this function add will not return. Okay, will not return, sir. Not is missed. Will not return what, sir? Will not return any kind of value. So there is no communication. Now, what do you mean by communication, sir? I'm not getting. What do you mean by communication? I'm not getting. Okay. First, you do things. You just take this one, sir, from here. From here. No need to write this symbol. Just you take from here to here. Quickly you take. Then I will tell you what do you mean by communication. You take this one, this point. So C language, you can find out what is the memory taken by the function by using size of operator. Whether it is a predefined function, user defined function takes 2 bytes of memory. Void add, now this function add will not return any kind of value. So there is no communication. Now what is communication? I will tell. Don't worry. Void is a keyword. While discussing the keyword topic, I will tell you in detail. Just try to learn the terminology. Done. Completed, guys. Done. Completed, all of you. Now let's see what is communication, sir. I'm not getting what do you mean by communication? Have a look. I'm going to tell you the communication. Let's suppose here we have a main module, one module, when main module, and let's suppose here we have a sub module. Okay, sub module. Now main module and sub module. Just try to understand. So from here, what I'm writing, sir, have a look. Please notice, all of you. Here I am writing one user defined method, user defined function, and same example I'm taking. I'm talking about method communication. Try to understand. Public void sum. Here I'm taking what? Int x, comma what, sir? Int y. Okay. Int x, comma int y. And now here same I'm taking what? Int result. Int result is equal to what, sir? X plus y. And in Java, actually we write system.out.println. Okay, no problem. System.out.println. This is one output statement, but I don't want to introduce right now system.out.println. Okay, so here I'm just writing print. Print what, sir? Res. Are you getting my point? Say yes or no? Okay, perfect. Now, so this is one submodule where I have defined this sum method, Now, can you tell me this is a predefined method or user defined method? User defined method. How you recognize curly braces are there or not? Curly braces are there. Now from the main module, have a look. From the main module, what I'm doing, I'm calling this sum function. And let's say I'm passing what? 120, 240. Then what will happen? The x value will become what? 120, y value will become 240, and the result will become what? 360. Result will become 360, and it will print the result. It will print what? It will print 360. Now again you are calling sum. And let's say this time you are passing 200, 200. Can we pass? Okay. So if you look at this two module, one is main module, one is what? Sub module. If you concentrate, one is main module, one is sub module. Sir, from main module, you are passing some value, you are sending some value to sub module or not? Say yes or no? From this main module, have a look. From this main module, look at guys. From this main module, you are passing some value. To this sub module or not? Sub module is returning any value? Sub module is not returning any value. So why sub module is not returning any value? Because you have written what? Void. Void means what? Void is a data type. Void is a keyword. That void will tell you what? This function is not going to return what? Any kind of value. Say yes or no? Okay, look at. Please notice, all of you. So this method return type is void. This method return type is void. So void, and here you can write void is a keyword. Void is a what, sir? Keyword. Now I will tell you in what is keyword. Don't worry. Void is a keyword. Here, or this method will not return any kind of value. So you can think that you are providing some value to this submodule. From main module, you are providing some value to this submodule, but this submodule is not returning any kind of value. Are you getting my point? Suppose you are putting some dirty clothes in washing machine, and washing machine will tell you, I am not going to return. Forget about your clothes. Okay. You are putting something in your pressure cooker. Some rice, some pulse you are pushing, that pressure cooker is telling, okay, forget about that. I'm not going to return any kind of value. Are you getting my point? The same thing is happening or not? From this main module, you are sending some value. It is processing the value, and it is itself using the value. It is using the value. It is not going to return any value. Tell me, is there any communication? There is no communication. So this method return type is void. Void is a keyword. This method will not return any kind of value. So there is no communication. Communication between what? Main module to what? Sub module. Are you getting my point? Is it clear? Say yes or no. Come on. Perfect. Now let's see the another scenario, sir. Let's see. I'm telling you some another scenario. What is the another scenario? I'm going to explain. Have a look. Try to understand what is the another scenario. So let me change the color as well. Sir, in the another scenario, what I'm doing, look at. I'm writing what? The same function I'm writing. Don't worry about that. Don't write. First, look at carefully. Your understanding is very, very important. So public, but here I'm not writing the void keyword. Here I'm writing what? Int. What I'm writing? Int. And then the name of the function is what? Sum. Same. Int x, comma what? Int y. Perfect. Sir, here what I can write? Look at all of you. Int res is equal to, can I write x plus y? X plus y. Listen very carefully. Int res is equal to x plus y. Now from here, listen, from here, what I'm doing from here, can I write return? Look at this function is returning what? Integer value or not? So compulsory here, what we need to write? Here we need to write what? One return statement, because this function is going to return some integer kind of value. Please notice, this function is going to return what, sir? Integer kind of value. This function is going to return integer kind of value. So we need to write one return statement. Return is also a keyword. So return, let's say here I'm writing what? Return 10. Can I write? Say yes or no? Yes, it is possible. If you don't know, don't worry. If you don't know, don't worry. Sir, what I'm trying to tell you, the function is going to return what? Which kind of value? Integer kind of value. So here we need to write what? Return some integer value. Return what? Some integer value. Are you getting my point? Say yes or no? All of you getting my point? So this function is going to return some integer kind of value. This function is going to return some integer kind of value. What is the returning of this function? This function is returning 10. Now have a look what will happen. Listen carefully, very carefully. Sir, from here I am calling some 50 comma 50. Please notice, or 15 comma 15, no problem. 15 comma 15. So what will happen? From here you are passing the value or not? Come on, say yes or no. From here you are passing the value what? 15 comma 15. Can you tell me what is the value of x? 15. What is the value of y? 15. So what is the value of result? What is the result value of result? 30. The value of result will be 30. Now from here, look at, from here it is returning what? Come on, what is it? It is returning? It is returning 10. What it is returning? 10. So that 10 value can we assign in a variable? Yes, we can assign. Have a look. Here I am writing what? Int a. So what is the value of this int a, guys? Come on, what is the value of this int a? 10. So you are passing 15 comma 15, but what this sub module is returning? This sub module is returning 10. All of you clear? Say yes or no. What we are sending to main module to sub module, look at, we are passing 15. What is the value of x? 15. What is the value of y? 15. What is the value of result? 30. But it is returning 10. What I have written? I have written it will, this function will return what? 10. This function will return 10. Have a look once again. Sir, int, let's say int b is equal to, one very clever things, have a look. Here you can also write what? A. It is a variable now. Say don't take, let me finish. So it is a variable now. So in this variable, look at, in the first line, this variable is holding the value 10. Again I am taking what? Some another value in the same variable. So no need to define again and again. Getting my point? I have already told to I have already defined that the type of A is what? Integer. So here can I write A is equal to, again I am calling some function, and now I am passing what? 50 comma what? 50. Now can you tell me what will happen? What is the value of x? What is the value of y? 50. What is the value of result? 100. What this function will return? This function will return 10. What this function will return? Come on, guys. Because you have written there 10. You have written what? 10. So now you tell me, whatever you are putting in the washing machine, whatever you are putting in the pressure cooker, always it returns same kind of things. Are you getting my point? You put anything. You put paneer, no problem. It will return rice. It is a good technique or bad technique? Bad technique. You are giving, come on, you are giving, you are putting paneer in the water, and it is returning rice. You are telling it is a good technique. Say yes or no. So what we are getting, I want cooked food or not? I want cooked food. Okay. I want cooked food. So look at, if I am passing 15 comma 15, what is the processing? I want the result 30. Say yes or no? What I want 30. When I pass 50 50, I want what? 100. I want 100. Let's say again I am passing a is equal to what? Some function I am calling sum, and from here I am passing what? 1000 comma what? 2000. What should I return? 3000. Are you getting my point? That means writing this statement return 10 is a invalid thing. Say yes or no? It is not a good thing. Sir, then what we should do, sir? Look at what we should do. Sir, can we write here RES? Listen. Try to understand. Sir, can we write here RES? RES, say yes or no? Now it's perfect. Now it's what? Perfect. Now we are not returning any constant value. Look at what will happen this time. Sir, in the first line, you are writing what? 15 comma 15. 15 comma 15. What is the value of result? 30. So it will return 30 or not? It will return 30. So who is going to hold this 30? Have a look. Who is going to hold this 30? This A is going to hold the value 30 or not? Perfect. Now again you are passing what? 50 comma 50. What it will return? 100. Who is going to hold this 100? A. Perfect. Now again you are passing 1000 comma 2000. Who is going to hold 3000? Are you getting my point? Now you tell me, communication is done or not? Communication is possible or not? You are sending something, you are getting something. Communication is done or not? So if you put void, is there any communication? No communication. If you put int or corresponding return type, then what? Communication will be done or not? Communication will be done. Now one more point. Look at one more point. Sir, one more last point. What is the last point? Sir, if this function return type is integer, it should return only integer kind of value. What, sir? Integer kind of value. If you try to write, have a look. If you try to write, I'm writing in the return statement. If you try to write return, let's say you try to write return Ravi, sir, it is invalid. It is not possible because the method return type is what? Integer. It should always return only what, sir? Integer. Sir, it should always return integer. Then why you are writing RES, sir? I'm not getting. Yes, because RES data type is integer only. RES is a variable. Its data type is what? Integer only. So when we can return or not? Yes, we can return. No problem. Is it clear, all of you? So now look at now what you can write here. Look at what you can write here. This method return type is what? This method return type is what, sir? Return type is int. So this method or function both are same. This method or function both are same. This method should return what? Only integer value. Hence, communication is possible or not? Communication is possible between what? Main module to sum module. Module you are getting. Module means what? One module, one part. Main module to what? Sum module. Perfect. Now you can take down. So this is called communication. You are sending some value and you are receiving some value. Done. You got the concept. Getting concept is very, very important. Say yes or no. All of you confident? So you got the idea. When you put void, what will happen? And when you put return type, what will happen? If you put void, you are killing the nature of the function. What is the nature of the function? It wants to return some value. It wants to return because it is taking some memory from the operating system now. So once it is taking something, what is the desire of the function? It wants to return some value. So if you put void, that means what? You are killing the nature of the function. What is the nature of the function? To return some value. To return some value, communication. Of course, look at, in society, we are communicating with each other or not? Yes or no? So similarly, in programming language, also one function wants to communicate with another function. Are you getting my point? So why I am telling, why I am giving much and much pressure to this topic? Because unnecessary, don't put void. If it is really required, generally what happens? Students are very habitual. Public void M1. Public void M2. No. This is a very bad practice. You think that this function really needs some communication? Then you have to write what? The appropriate return type. Sir, this function does not contain any return type, or this function does not need any communication. Then you can put what? Void. Are you getting my point? Let's say I'm telling you, let's say you are writing one function, just one example. I will delete this. Have a look. Sir, public void print name. Print name. So here I want to print the name only. Then you can write what? System.out.print. Sir, my name is Ravi. So here you are just printing the name or not? Are you getting my point? You are just printing the name. That means what? This function does not return any kind of value. You are just printing something. This is Naresh Institute of Technology. Okay, you are just printing. But if there is a calculation, there is another thing. Then you should think, really this function, this method requires return type, or really this function required void keyword. Are you getting my point? If this function does not want to return any value, just you put what? Void. Please notice, if you put void, then there is no return statement. You need not to write any return statement. But if there is a return type, int, float, okay, then appropriate return statement you need to write. Is it clear, all of you? Perfect. Now what is next? Next, you please write down one next question, sir. What is the next question? Please write down. Yeah, please wait. Please wait. Visible now? Screen is? Please write in the chat window. Screen is visible now. Look at what is the next question, sir. Why member functions are called? Why member functions are called method in Java? Why member functions are called method in Java? What is the reason behind it? Why member functions are called method in Java? Okay, why member functions are called method in Java? Have a look. So, you know, in some programming languages like C++, if you know C++, good. If you don't know, leave it. Just try to learn the concept. So in some programming languages, we can write a function. Outside of the class also. Here I can write a function. Are you getting my point? In some programming languages, or even you take C++ directly, in C++ we can write a function outside of the class by using one operator called what? This is called a scope resolution operator. What, sir? Scope resolution operator. By using this scope resolution operator, you can write a function what? Outside of the class. Look at. a scope resolution operator.